What's up, guys? Hope you guys are doing well. I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from Your Black World and Black Business School. I want to say hello to everybody. I hope you're having a good night. I am cooling down right now because I just finished doing that second 8 mile run, which just wore me out. Alicia's got me training for a marathon and it's kicking my butt. And but luckily, I get a day to rest tomorrow. We did 8 miles yesterday, 8 miles today. And the thing is, 8 miles is only 1/3 of the damn race. So I'm actually kind of nervous about how my body's going to respond to running a full marathon. What's going on, Big T? From Joliet, huh? Okay, Joliet's not too far from where I live. So maybe I haven't been in Joliet or something. I hope you'll come out. Andrew McGibbon, how are you? Good to see you. Hello to everybody on Your Black World and also on Dr. Boyce TV, the home for intelligent Black people. You saw earlier today we were talking about Antonio Brown and this craziness with him going to the Patriots and all that. And you guys saw when I changed my opinion on it. At first, I thought that Antonio was just crazy and stupid. And now I still think he's kind of crazy and he might be a little stupid, but he's not totally stupid. He got what he wanted. So that means that, it was strategic. It worked out for him. Do me a favor. Shout out your city that you're from. I see Kimberly and Andrew and I see Dayton and Andre. How you doing, Andre? I see Milwaukee. He's stupid and crazy. I agree. He is still stupid and crazy, but hey, he got what he wanted, so I can't hate the guy for it. What's going on, Sandra? Hello, how are you? California, Rochester with so much snow. Pittsburgh, that has a lot of snow too. Philly, that has a lot of snow too. Everybody's sleep. It's 1:30. Is it 1:30 or I had 12:30 here, but I guess it is 1:30. But yeah, actually, I have people that follow us in London and places like that. So for them, it's early in the morning. So sometimes I'll go live in the middle of the night and there'll still be a bunch of people in here because you got people in Asia and Africa and, other parts of the world. So what's called Phoenix. My sister lives in Phoenix. Go to sleep, man. I will. I'm going to take a shower first. You should be great by the time you get on. I don't know what that means. Good evening. How are you? What's up, Doc? Seattle, 10:30 here. I'm at work. Uh-oh, don't let Massa see you. Don't let Massa catch you, Kim. All right, so please hit the thumbs up button. Please hit the thumbs up button if you haven't done that yet. That really helps us a lot. So let me tell you guys what I was reading about that I thought would be an interesting, quick conversation. There's a guy apparently by the name of Ruben Sarpong. And Ruben is famous right now because apparently he's been on these online dating sites and he's collected a total of about $2.1 million in what is described as a scheme, an elaborate online dating scheme that he ran on more than 30 people, where he and co-conspirators acted as United States military members attempting to ship gold bars at home. Sarpong, 35, was set to appear before Judge Joel Snyder in Camden Federal Court Wednesday on one count of conspiracy to commit wire fraud, according to U.S. Attorney Craig Carpenito. The following details from this case were taken from court documents and statements from January 2016 to September 2019. Sarpong and several co-conspirators, many who reside in Ghana, reportedly set up profiles on various dating websites using fake or stolen identities, posing as United States military personnel stationed overseas. They, quote, they contacted victims through the dating websites and then pretended to strike up a romantic relationship with them, wooing them with words of love, according to the criminal complaint. After starting a relationship with the victims, Sarpong and his conspirators would ask them for money, authorities claim, often for the claimed purpose of paying to ship non-existent gold bars to the United States. Ain't that some shit? What y'all think about that? That sounds insane, right? Like, wow, okay, alrighty then. So let me read more here. The most common story used by Sarpong and his co-conspirators was that they were military personnel stationed in Syria who were awarded the gold bars. The conspirators told many of the victims that the money would be reimbursed once the gold bars arrived in the United States. In one case, a conspirator claimed he was a U.S. soldier stationed in Syria who had recovered gold bars worth $12 million and needed help bringing them over. He sent her a fictitious airway bill showing that 2 trunks with family treasure would be sent to her, along with a fake United Nations identity card that identified him as an Israeli citizen and UN delivery agent. She wired him more than $93,000 and they plan to meet at the Baltimore Washington International on June 13th, 2018. The next day, she died by suicide. Oh God, man, this motherfucker. Shit, he deserved the death penalty for this shit. Wow. I just got to pause on that right quick. I'm sorry. That's, man. Damn. And I would just say this, before you laugh at the victims, I would ask you to have a little empathy, have some empathy for them. Everybody ain't smart. Everybody ain't right in the head. Some people are really lonely, and there's nothing wrong with being a person who trusts other people. There's nothing wrong with that. Now, obviously, most people who didn't fall for that scam, I'm sure for them to get 30 victims, they had to go through 30,000, right? So you're talking about 1% of 1%, right? But it still doesn't mean, even though, I mean, there is accountability, right? I'm a person that believes in personal responsibility. The blame still lies on him. It doesn't, if somebody trusts you and you betray that trust, you're still the bad guy, even if they were stupid to trust you in the first place, even if they shouldn't have trusted you. Because I'm gonna tell you the truth, I don't like living in a world where I got to always be watching my back and looking over my shoulder before I can trust somebody and do something nice for somebody. Seriously, because I've been, and we all, I don't know. Tell me this. Let's have a confessional moment real quick. Has anybody ever been fooled or played for a sucker because you trusted the wrong person? Yes or no? Yes or no? Let me know. Like, let's just confess. I'm gonna raise both hands because I've been played. I've been fooled. I've been suckered. I've been suckered in public. Like, because I have a public profile. I've had people I worked with that y'all seen on this channel that I supported and backed, who I felt double crossed me later on, where I was like, God damn, what the fuck were you thinking, Boyce? Has anybody been played, maybe by a relative, a loved one, a romantic interest, somebody that you trusted, who just, betrayed your trust? Like, I think it's okay to confess to that. And here's the thing. Here's what I just want to say to you. It's not your fault. I know the world's going to tell you, oh, you a sucker. You shouldn't be trusting people. And I had that happen. I'm just going to be real with you. I had people, when I got fucked, and y'all probably know who I'm talking about. If y'all have followed me long enough, you've seen where I've been betrayed publicly. And in the background, you know what I was hearing from people? Oh, see, Boyce, that's what you get for being too nice. You can't be trusting these people. You got to vet these people out. You got to do this, do that. And I was like, well, I did vet them. I thought I vetted them. I didn't think it was going to end up like that, right? I've had this happen, and these are the conversations I have. And what it does is it makes you feel really stupid. Did anybody else feel stupid when you got played? Like, who felt like just a big dumbass? Like, when you got played, like, oh, I need to be, like almost like you feel like your heart is not dark enough. Like, you got to become gangster and mean and nasty to people. I mean, in fact, when I got, one time I got, somebody did something, to me where I was like, God damn, this is terrible. Like, what the hell, man? Why am I nice to these fucking people? Because I just want to be nice to black people, right? I want to help black people. I don't want to be like, oh, you a nigga. I got to watch you every step of the way. I don't want to go through life like that. I want to be like, come on, like, I'm going to embrace my brother, or come on, sister, I want to see you do well. Like, I want to live like that. I don't want to live in fear of other people. I just don't, right? And so it kind of sucks that we live in a world where you have people that literally think that if you are a good person, that makes you stupid, or that if you are a good person, that makes you weak. Well, I believe it's the opposite. I believe that's the opposite. The people who don't trust anybody are typically the weakest people out here. Because why? Well, because the reason that you have so many walls around you and you don't let nobody close is because you know that if you take the hit, you can't bounce back from that. We put hard shells around a soft core, right? You're protecting something very soft, so you put a hard shell around it. Whereas, to me, the very best people I know are the ones who can, be trusting, be loving, live by the honor system, love another black person, have somebody's back, be good to a woman, be good to a man, get played, get screwed, but still not let that darken their heart. They can still come back and still say, you know what, I had a bad apple, but for every one person who screws me, there's 10 people who didn't, right? And that literally is my philosophy to this day. I've had times where, where I got betrayed, and but then every time I start thinking, man, shit, I ain't trusting nobody. I'm gonna keep everybody away from me. I don't even want to fuck with people, man. Shit, I didn't even have to help that person. I did something nice, and I didn't even have to do that. I go into that mode, but then I come back and I say, yeah, but remember, boys, you have a lot of friends that you never would have had because you were nice and you helped people, right? So to me, I learned strength. Strength means knowing how to be honorable toward other people and live on an honor system with other people, and know that sometimes it just ain't gonna work out. Sometimes some people are gonna play you, and also the weakest people in our society are not just the people that keep up the big walls, but they're also the people who take advantage of other people's kindness. Those people should be punished. They should be punished because we need a community where we can trust each other. The fact that this poor lady killed herself, I'm sorry. I hope that you're not sitting here saying, oh, that big dummy, what's wrong with her? She's an idiot for doing it. I'm sorry, she killed herself. This son of a bitch needs to go to prison and get his ass beat repeatedly. Like what, I mean, just the idea that this man would do this, it makes me very sad. Because if you ever want to know where bitter black women come from or bitter black men come from, it's because hurt people hurt people. Typically, people that are bitter, nasty, cold, don't trust nobody. It all comes from the fact that the last person they trusted, took their trust and completely betrayed it. So guys like this, to me, are scum. You're not a black man. You're not a brother. You're not an asset to the community. You are a virus. Hit the thumbs up button. Please hit the thumbs up button, share and subscribe button. And if you have any comments on any of this, actually, you can call in and leave a comment. I'm going to actually every day or two, I'm actually do a little thing that I call Voice Your Opinion. It's actually a little playlist where you can actually see all the segments. And Voice Your Opinion is where I'm going to literally play your voicemail, and I will respond to your messages. Just keep them short and make sure you get to the point. Like if it sounds all crazy and it's all over the place, I can't play it because people get confused. But if you keep it short and to the point, that'll help me kind of, be efficient with people's time. So if you want to call in, the number is 773-302-0414. That's 773-302-0414. Also, if you want to get a text notification when we go live, if you can see the notification button, you can actually hit the notification button right now, I believe, to get a notification when I go live through YouTube. But you can also text the word Boyce to 31996. Text Boyce to 31996. Please hit the thumbs up button. All right. So basically, this guy got, it says that Sarpong and his co-conspirators used various email accounts and voice over internet protocol phone numbers to communicate with victims and instruct them where to wire the money. Victims on occasion also sent money via personal and cashier's checks. Authorities say the funds were withdrawn in cash, wired to other domestic bank accounts, and wired to conspirators in Ghana. Sarpong, who was found posting photographs of himself with large amounts of cash, high-end cars, and expensive jewelry, personally received $823,000 in the scheme. According to the criminal complaint filed Tuesday, Sarpong was active on social media and bragged about his wealth. So so he's not just an asshole, he's also a stupid asshole, because if you're gonna go out here doing dirt, keep that shit to yourself. I mean, you got Negroes Instagram flexing, like just give it. Why don't you just lay out a trail of breadcrumbs for the cops? Like, why don't you just become a detective part-time and investigate yourself and get yourself locked up? Because you're literally creating a trail of evidence. It's like those rappers who literally will rap about who they killed and exactly when and where they did it and where the body's buried and where they can find the murder weapon. Like it just does. It's weird. Like if you're going to commit a crime, don't be out here telling on yourself. Authorities said that on March 2nd, 2017, Sarpong posted a photograph of himself sitting in a car with a large stack of money to his ear like a cell phone, with a caption that read, "Wake up with 100K one time, making a phone call to let my bank know I'm coming." On May 20th, see, everybody want to act like these retarded ass rappers. I swear to God, it's the dumbest shit ever. See, that's what the thing. That's why you should be mad about the fact that white people took over hip hop, because they literally use hip hop to dumb down Black America, to create 35, 40-year-old teenagers. You're 35 years old, man. It'd be different if you were 18 and stupid. You're 35. You're almost, if you lived in Chicago, you're old enough to be a grandparent. We got 35-year-old grandparents in Chicago. My grandma was 35 when I was born, actually. Believe it or not, my grandma literally was 35. So you're old enough to be a grandfather and you're doing this dumbass teenager shit. Who the fuck said our black community should have 35-year-old grandfather-ass men acting like teenagers? Like, it's just dumb. It's just stupid. You're not a rapper, dude. Like, what are you doing? So May 29, 2017, Sarpong posted a photograph of himself in front of a white Mercedes with the comments "blood money," according to the complaint. On December 12, 2018, Sarpong posted a photograph of himself with an unidentified male with the comment, quote, "big business done. Now we waiting for the checks to clear." Sarpong faces up to 20 years in prison and a $250,000 fine. And I hope he gets every single minute of prison that he deserves. And I hope that when he goes to prison, whatever bad things can happen in prison, if they happen to him, I wouldn't feel that bad about it. I ain't gonna lie. I have empathy for brothers in prison, but y'all know how it is. Some people in the pen deserve to be there, and he's one of them. And here's the other thing too, right? Like, this affects a lot of us have seen this up close. Has anybody, tell me yes or no, have you ever noticed like how you have certain brothers that just do a lot of fast talking, and the talk don't never amount to shit? Do you ever see that? You ever notice how you got some brothers, not all, but you got brothers out here that, because maybe they just grew up on this, they just think that like your words talk is cheap. So you can just, like, if something's cheap, you can have it in abundant supply. So they just run their mouth and they always making promises. Yeah, baby, next week I'm going to do this and this, and then I'm going to do this, blah, 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 and then we're going to start blah, 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 and then blah, blah, blah. Anybody know, you know what I'm talking about? Does that get on your nerves? Like, am I the only one? That annoys the shit out of me, because I run into people like this. I run into all different kinds of people. And my thing is, I don't like talking to people who are going to waste my time. But every now and then I'll run into a fast talking dude, got a business idea that don't even make no damn sense. And you're talking my ear off about how you're going to figure out how to make how you know that this is going to be $1 billion thing. All I got to do is invest some money in it and blah, 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 blah. And I'm sitting here like, you haven't even made $200. Like, you're doing a lot of talking about what you gonna do. I don't want to hear what you gonna do. I want to hear what you did. Tell me what you did. So you know what I do? I don't want to be a dream killer. I don't want to tell anybody that that they're stupid or anything. I don't do that. I just say, okay, well, go work on your idea for 5 years straight, 3 to 5 years, and go make $1 million or whatever, and then come back and talk to me about it. Show me something real, And I really will tell you, that's a big problem. I don't know if it's just in our community, if it's other communities too, but I'm telling you, man, like, seriously, I'm talking to the men as well. Like, don't be one of those guys. Like, that's the sign of a weak ass, bitch ass man. When you are a man who's always talking and you don't deliver, then that obviously tells me you were not mentored by a real man. A real man knows that your word has to be your bond. When my father grew up, my daddy used to tell me, this is why I don't care when little bitch ass Negroes got shit to say on the internet. Y'all, they just some chatty patty ass little panty wearing ass bitches. I don't have no respect for none of that. I was raised by a real man. My father is a real man. He's murdered. He's not murdered. He's had to kill people. He's a Vietnam vet. He took care of us. He married my mother when he was 23 years old, and every single day since that time, he's taken care of her for 45 years. My father's just a real man. And one thing my father used to tell me is, he used to talk about his father, and he said that his father, his mother would say, she'd be upset about something. Financial anxiety is a big thing in families. That's why men have to be focused really hard on finding ways to be good, strong providers. Very, very important. I don't care what anybody says. Like, forget all this feminized society bullshit. Like, men that cannot provide are looked at differently from men who can provide. I don't care what anybody says. So he said that his mother, who was my grandmother, would say, we need $100 by 5 o'clock today. You know what his dad would do? His dad would say, don't worry, I'll take care of it. He would leave the house and he would come back at 5 o'clock with $100. He would just get it. Nobody knew what he did, how he figured it out. It wasn't nothing illegal or nothing. I mean, he would just go maybe do some work, go call in a favor, whatever he had to do, but he got it done. You see, the thing about manhood that black men have lost, because you live in a society that wants black men to be little boys and teenagers. That's why they market these rappers to you, like the Migos. These guys were riding tricycles in a Mountain Dew commercial because they're children. They market men to you who are either feminine or weak, feminine, weak, or sorry, feminine, weak, or childish. So they're either feminine, they're beta, or they're very childish. That's what they market to you, because those men are not threats. So these feminine, weak men, what they do is they do a whole lot of talking and they write a whole lot of checks. Their mouths write all kinds of checks that their ass can't cash. So they'll tell you, oh yeah, I'll call you tomorrow at 5. And you know in the back of your mind, he really ain't gonna call you at 5. Even though he said he's gonna call you at 5, but you just kind of know he's not. So we kind of expect that, right? People expect that. Like, I don't know, ladies, if you go through that where a guy says something and you don't even know whether you should take it seriously or not, because you think he's just talking, or you have to make sure that he's a guy that's serious as opposed to a guy who's just talking. And I really think it's like when I think about this guy, I see that's what I see. I see an extreme version of what many of us have seen in a million different contexts. And I think that in order for our community to become a sturdier community, we need sturdier men. In fact, we actually had started this initiative years ago that maybe I'll pick it up at some point. It was BOMB, and it stood for Building Outstanding Men and Boys. And it was all about the principles of manhood that a man should follow in order to gain and earn the respect and retain the respect of the people around him. These are things like, like as a man, you got to have a little bit of knowledge and education or skill, because you can't just be stupid. People ain't gonna follow a stupid person. You have to have, you want to think about your wealth. You want to think about investing. You want to have assets. You want to focus, learn how to make that money. And there's a few other areas. Actually, our organization, if you want to join, if you're a black man, you want to be a part of it, you can go actually sign up at blackmenunited.net. That's blackmenunited.net. And actually, Andre C. Hatchett, who runs the Black Notary School, he and I put that together, and it's still there. And you get a lot of free content sent to you that really sort of provides a framework of manhood. Like, we really need a framework of manhood, because when I see guys doing things like this, like, I'm going to go get women to fall in love with me so I can steal their money. That's just, again, that's an extreme representation of what we see on a lot of other situations. Like, it might be something basic, like men who make a lot of babies with no plan on how they're going to take care of these babies. Like, does anybody have anybody like that in your family? Like, just literally, like, you are a fertilizing machine, like you are fertilizing half the neighborhood, but yet you have no plan for what's going to happen with that seed. You're going to have a bunch of disappointed, pissed off, angry ass kids that all need therapy and can't even eat because you can't keep your dick in your pants. Like, you don't know how to at least think strategically about the next steps in your life. It doesn't mean that you can't enjoy sex. Men enjoy sex, right? But it's like, and women do too. But it's like, there should be an expectation. And the same thing is true for the ladies, though, that have reduced their expectations of men. Remember, when these men are making babies, there are women who are laying down with these men. So if he's a dumbass, then you kind of a dumbass for laying down with a dumbass, right? It takes one to know one. His dumbassedness has infected you, apparently. So y'all a couple of dumbasses making a baby, and the baby's going to be like, damn, I'm being guided by a couple of dumbasses. So the baby's going to grow up to be a dumbass too. So at the end of the day, I just really think we have to sort of think about codes of conduct and behavior amongst, men and amongst women. And it doesn't mean anybody has to be perfect, but it does mean we have to kind of process this a little bit. So the way this guy, these women for money, I know one way our community has gotten backward is that the women have just jumped so far ahead of black men, because black men can't succeed in America the same way black women can. If all of us go look for a job, if 5 black men and 5 black women all go look for the same corporate job, the women are more likely to be hired than the men, because women are not seen as much of a threat in the workplace. And so basically black men have to take a pathway that's built more so on entrepreneurship, investing, independent wealth building. We can't be out here chasing jobs like that, because then if that man don't give you that job, then you can't take care of your woman. Then he's looking at you and laughing at you and saying, you see, that's why you black women should be dating us, because your men are inadequate, right? And that's really what's happening, right? So ultimately, I think that for black men, they really want to kind of circumvent that game. You have to get out of the game. You have to start a new game and play a different game with your life, or you're going to be very frustrated for your entire existence. So hit the thumbs up button, hit the share button, subscribe button. Also, don't forget, the All Black National Convention is going to be in Houston. And speaking of a real man, Willie D from the Ghetto Boys will be there. He's a great guy, and he and I have had a lot of conversations about manhood. Also D1, he's another great man. He's a great rapper, a good guy. George C. Frazier, who's an excellent, powerful brother. He's going to be there. He's going to give a keynote speech. Nicole, and great black women will be there as well. Nicole Price, who's a leadership expert. She's actually my leadership coach. She's going to actually speak. Vicki Dillard is going to speak from Fly Nubian Queen. Danielle Pierce, a lot of great people. Jade Arundel, just so many amazing we got activists. We have attorney Nicole Compton, who is an expert on business formation and business formation and law. Julian Gordon, a Stanford graduate, who's a real estate expert. There's going to be some really great people there, and we're going to just kind of cover the whole gamut of blackness, from politics to relationships to economics to business development. And it's just really a great experience in terms of solution providing. We're very solution oriented. You guys know I'm a mathematician, so in mathematics, that's what everything's about, solving problems, right? So that's I think something that I think will benefit you, and also you'll network with some of the most amazing people ever. It will literally lead to massive growth in your opportunities, your income, all these things, because you'll be around people who also are like-minded, who are trying to build black as well. So feel free to check it out. Go to drboyceseminars.com, because I actually have that plus my Louisville event on the 14th. I'll be in Louisville, Kentucky in 5 days. And then beyond that, there is New York. The New York event is October 27th. So go to drboyceseminars.com. Everything's right there, drboyceseminars.com. All right, so let me give you, just to kind of give you some something to walk away with, 7 signs that you're being scammed online. While most of the scams online are not, as treacherous as this, there are plenty of situations, though, where people are not what they appear to be. And I think that it's easy to get duped and to get a misassessment or a misrepresentation of exactly how many real opportunities you have versus fake opportunities. And so I found a list of 7 ways to know if you're being scammed when you're online dating, because I know some of y'all are out there getting it in, and I'm not judging. I'm just going to tell you to be careful. First thing, scammers will usually try to get you off the website. They want to, they don't want you to be in a space where there's security and there's controls and they're monitoring what they're saying to you. They want to talk to you through email or WhatsApp or something like that, or on the phone. They want to get you off of the site. Don't leave the site unless you've been talking to that person for months and you've met them in person and you like them. That's just, just be careful with that. Number 2, they send you template style messages. So these are generic messages from people that didn't actually read your profile. So it either means the guy's lazy or or it could be a woman, right? I'm sure there's been women that have scammed men as well. So the person's either lazy or they're a scammer. Here's another sign. This is the big one. Pay attention, ladies. Pay attention. Understand, and this is true for men as well as women. It's just men tend to be fooled. We tend to be fooled. We become dumbasses when it comes to sex. We get suckered in by a big butt and a smile, right? That's how the Cardi B's were robbing and drugging and robbing and violating men, because they were like, oh, if I show up and I got a big booty, he's going to do whatever I say, right? Well, for women, it tends to be something related to romance. There's something about romance and love and man of my dreams and all this that tends to, reel the woman in, right? They get carried away, almost like to the point of being drunk, especially if it's a handsome man or a powerful man. Once I was sitting with a man who was much more famous than me, and he saw that I was becoming more famous at the time, and he said, women change when you get power. He said there are some women where power is an aphrodisiac. He said it's almost like they're drunk and they will believe anything you say. They will do whatever you tell them to do. It's really fascinating. And I just kind of sat there and listened. I didn't really say anything. But basically, there are men who just know this, right? They just know what to say. They're smooth. I'm not very smooth. I told you I have no game at all. I've never had any game. I don't even want to have game. I think too many women is trouble. That should get your ass in trouble, especially in the Me Too era. I'm happy that I never had too many women floating around, and that shit'll have you looking crazy. But here's the thing: you got men out here that do know the game. I've analyzed. I watched behavior. I study things, and I remember there was this really fat guy who had a lot of girlfriends back in the day, and I didn't know why he had all these girlfriends. Nobody knew why. They're like, how's this fat dude got all these women just chasing after him? And one of his friends asked him, they said, so how do you get all these girls, man? Like, what do you do? How do you get all these women? You know what he said? He said, it's easy. Just sell a hoe a dream. That's exact. I'm gonna use his exact words. He said, just sell a hoe a dream. That's what he said. You know, and basically, it's like he said, if you just tell women what they want to hear, if you just tell them what they want to hear, and it sounds good, they'll believe you. I've seen that played out in many cases. I knew a guy once who was a distant cousin of mine who actually used to like meet women. He would fall in love with them in about a month, and they would get pregnant like a month after that. And he would appear to be the man of their dreams. And then like about 6 months later, they would start figuring out that he wasn't even using his real name. He was lying on his driver's license. He was, like literally, it wasn't even him. Like it was a real sociopath type shit. And there are people out there like that. And so ultimately, what they say here is that basically men who become ridiculously romantic, ridiculously early, that is a clear sign that it's fake. Whatever appears to be too good to be true probably is. I don't know if anybody's ever heard that statement or not. Basically, it says scammers have to make things emotional because their tricks don't work or with anybody thinking logically. They'll ramp up the romance, talk early, come out with, quote, just looking for an incredible partner that I want to spend my life with, to hold and cherish, or quote, I sense you are the type of woman who's really serious about this. I'm already feeling strongly for you and that we can build something incredible together for the future. Offline, when he's dated you for 6 months, this is cute. Online, when you've known him for 6 days, this is scamming or desperation, to be avoided in either case. Next, if you get a sense that their English is poor, a lot of scammers come from other countries, so you pay attention to that. I knew a guy that was actually getting scammed by a woman, and she was actually in a part of Africa, and he really liked her, and he was really talking about how great she was and all that. And I was like, but have you met her? Have you met her yet? And he's like, no, but she's so wonderful. I said, yeah, but have you met her? And he was like, no, but blah 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 blah. I said, well, good luck. I'm happy for you. I said, but don't ask her for any money. I mean, don't. If she asks for any money, then I think that's a warning sign. And lo and behold, about 2 months later, she asked for some money, and thank God he went ahead and kicked her to the curb. But that's just, I think it's like the idea is like, oh, these Americans are so rich, so if you just make them think that you're in love with them, then they're going to give you money. Here's another one. This is one I've seen. I actually had, I haven't online dated like for a long time, but back a long time ago, literally like the year 2000, I was online dating, and this happened to me. It says he's flaky and dodges meetups. Scammers are typically overseas outside your area, so there's no way they'll be able to meet up with you. They may allude to it. They may even book it in, but something will always come up that means that they can't make it. I did meet a woman like that a long time ago. I remember that. I remember that every single time I'd say, hey, let's meet up, she would either say she couldn't, or she would say she could, and then something would always happen at the last minute. And so that's another sign. Like, and so that was years ago. Like I said, literally like 18 years ago. But it does happen, right? So if they don't want to meet with you, then that's a problem. They ask at any point for money. That's really the kicker, right? If anybody asks you for money at any point, I just think the answer should always be no, until maybe if you dated them for a year, or if it's an amount of money that you don't care about losing. I mean, if it's like $20 and you don't care about that, that's fine. But money is kind of a big telltale sign. But remember, these scammers don't just work in online dating. There's that term hobosexual. I don't know if anybody's ever heard that term. Have you heard the term hobosexual? The term hobosexual basically is like these men out here apparently that, because they're, you got these bottom feeder men out here that are struggling and whatever, that they'll date women and feed them romance in exchange for money, which is kind of the male version of prostitution. Like, men can't go selling penis easily because women can get that anywhere, right? But they can sell like fake love, and women will pay for that, right? Just like maybe with the penis attached, right? Whereas, for men, they're buying the sex. So people buy what they want, and I think that any transaction in love is fine if that's what you, if that makes you happy. Like if you make it a deal, because I've seen that. I mean, there are celebrity. I just so wish I could like tell some of the celebrity stories I hear about some of these famous celebrities, literally household names, people that who literally they'll be like, oh yeah, well, she went to go live with her because she was basically her sex slave and she paid her bills. Like literally, I'll be like, ooh, really? But I can't say I don't say these things in public. But people do these things, right? People make decisions and whatever, and as long as they're happy with their choice, it's fine. But the problem is when you don't know what it is, and I think that's the issue, right? When you have one person that really thinks it's real love, and the other person's like, no, I'm just here for the money, then that's a problem, right? So, watch out for the scammers, and you got gold diggers on both sides of the spectrum. And I generally think I don't think there's anything wrong with sharing money. I think that's fine, but I do think that, like, I will say this, I guess just to put myself out there with Alicia, um, Alicia can ask me for any amount of money she wants, and she would probably have it. Like I really am not going to even question that, just because I've known her for a really long time, and she's never done anything underhanded to me ever at any point. Like I've never seen anything that even made me think she was doing something underhanded. But here's the interesting thing, right? She never asked for it. She's very big on having her own stuff and having her own money. So what that actually does is that makes me more generous and more willing to share, especially if she needs something and I see she needs it, I will make sure she takes it, right? Or if she asks me, I'll know she's only asking because if she really has to ask because she doesn't want to ask. So basically, if somebody, if you have money and you date somebody that's hard up for money but really likes to have money, then just know that you're signing up for something very expensive, which is almost like having another child. You may be bringing another dependent into your life. So that's why I would say if you date a gold digger or a hobosexual, just make sure you can afford it and make sure you know what it is. Because a person that really likes you because you have money, you need to be able to continue to afford that. You cannot make the mistake of believing that they're going to still love you without money as much as they did when you had money. That just doesn't make any sense. All right, so I see y'all in here having arguments in the chat. Y'all are so funny. I just love it. So anyway, I'm out of here, guys. Hit the thumbs up button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button. Also, I actually wrote a book about love and money and everything else. It's called Financial Lovemaking. You can probably find it on Amazon or something. I don't really push it that much, but it's out there. Feel free to go check it out. It's kind of a kinky book. I actually took a lot of sexual analogies and compared it to like money, because I like thinking about money with analogies for life. Because I think talking about love and relationships is so interesting, because you'd be amazed at how much it relates to what you do economically. Like when you start a business, starting a business with a person is exactly like having a baby. It's exactly like having sex. It's exactly like falling in love. It's exactly like having a relationship. So I figured it's easier to explain business by using something you understand than it is to bring in a bunch of crazy financial terms. But that's what I can do because my PhD is in finance. And when you get a PhD in something, you've seen it so many times and in so many different contexts that you can compare it to so many things and you can explain it in so many crazy ways. So that's why I tend to talk about finance in ways that are very non-traditional, because it takes skill to be able to do that. I had to study this for 15 years. And then I got my PhD. Then I taught it for 15 years after that. So I really know this stuff extremely well. So that's why I talk about it in a lot of ways that will confuse stupid people. So that's why I have stupid people who say, Boyce, what you're saying is stupid. What you're saying is wrong. It ain't wrong. And then I just look and I say, oh, of course you think it's stupid because you don't know shit. You're broke and you've never studied money. So of course you're gonna be confused. But regular people get it, like, because everybody understands love, everybody understands sex, everybody understands relationships on some level. Because if I say, what does it feel like to be in love? You might not be able to tell me, but you can feel it in your heart, because most of you have felt love at some point in your life, right? So anyway, I'm going to go hit the thumbs up button. Also, don't forget, All Black National Convention comes up September 27th, that weekend. Also, I'll be in Louisville September 14th. And then also we will be in New York doing the day-long investing seminar on October 27th. So if you want to learn more about all these events, go to drboyceseminars.com. That's drboyceseminars.com. Also, if you haven't learned to buy your first share of stock yet, everybody on my channel, my goal is to have every Black person who watches my YouTube channel. There's about 500,000 Black people that subscribe to my 2 YouTube channels. I'd like to have every single one of you become stock market investors. That way, if I die tomorrow, I can say I made a contribution to the Black community that is measurable, that is direct, that will impact your families. So if you want to learn how to buy your first share of stock, go to blackmoney100.com, and there's a free training on how to buy your first share of stock. Okay, I took the free stock course. It is great. Good. It's very, very good. It's better than anything you ever, even if you went to college and paid $10,000 for some class, this will be better than that, and it won't cost you anything. So go to blackmoney100.com, and you can learn to buy your first share of stock. And then when you're ready to dig deeper, feel free to go talk to our people at the Black Business School. That's theblackbusinessschool.com. We're building a Black university. We're trying to grow it as fast as possible to make it as big as possible, because half of the HBCUs that you know about are going to be gone in about 10 to 15 years. So we need HBCUs that are run and controlled by us, that are owned by us. The Black Business School is a school built for you, by you. So if you haven't signed up yet, just go to theblackbusinessschool.com. You can actually get started for free. There are people there waiting to talk to you right now, and they'll talk to you about anything you want about your future and what you're trying to do, and they can help you figure that out. So feel free to go to theblackbusinessschool.com. I'm out of here, guys. Have a good day. I'll talk to you later. Be good. Peace.